أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وآله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربنا زدنا علما آمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. How is everyone doing? How was the revision? How was the revision questions? Okay, alhamdulillah. But I still see that I got only 16 responses. I felt like there was some problem in the classroom. So as Sister Amla told, so there is no issue, right? So you can just attempt it, okay? Yeah. So we will directly move to the discussion of the question. The first question, it is about asking about the number of the sifat. So how many sifat are there? So I didn't write here whether it is a permanent sifa, and with opposite or without opposite. I didn't ask anything. I just asked it is the number of sifat. So total number of sifat is being asked here. Yes, 18. It is 18. Okay. So what about this 17? Why few sisters are confused about 17? Because 17, of course, you know, it is a number, but it is to the makharij. Okay. The number of articulation points, it is 17. Okay. And number of sifats, it is 18. Don't confuse with these two. Okay. So as while I was talking about the number of makharij, actually, we are following there are three opinions on the number of makharij. Okay. There are three opinions. Let's like we can say three schools of thought. Okay. The one opinion is what we are studying as that of the 17, and it was proposed by Imam Khalil ibn Ahmad al-Farahidi. Have you ever heard of his Imam Khalil ibn Ahmad al-Farahidi? Actually, he has made a lot of contributions in the Tajweed. A lot about, especially, earlier, the Quran was revealed in the spoken Arabic, right? The Quran was actually revealed in the spoken way, and then later it was written. So that is the reason when you are going to study Qaida Nuraniya, there are 29 letters in the Huruf al-Hija'i, okay, first chapter, including the Alif. Whereas when you go and study the Arabic language, it is only 28. There is no Alif there. Okay, so what is the reason? The reason is because the Quran is revealed in the spoken first. So for the spoken, there is Alif is separate and the Hamza is also there. Okay, the two different. But during the beginning stages, as you know, the script was not at all developed. It was not the same as we have in our hand now, right? It went through a lot of different stages so that it is now clear to us, alhamdulillah, that everyone can recite easily. So again, with the sound of the alif and the hamza, that means the mad and the hamza, two distinguished structures for the alif or for the hamza or for the hamzatul wasl. Okay. So all these structures, it was given by Khalil ibn Ahmad al-Farahidi, or the symbol of the mad, this symbol we can say, we can see above the mad letters, all these symbols, it was given by Imam Khalil ibn Ahmad al-Farahidi. Okay, he is an early scholar. He is actually considered as one among the theoretical founders of Tajweed. Okay, inshallah, we will study a little bit about that when we go to the Lahan chapter, inshallah. Okay. Yeah, so it is about the madhab of number of articulation points. Okay, so it was proposed by Imam Khalil ibn Ahmad al-Farahidi. Okay, I'll just say IKF. Okay, so because it is a too lengthy name. Okay, and this proposition was supported by Imam Ibn al-Jazari. Okay, yani I'm just giving the who made them or whose madhab is this. Okay, Imam Khalil ibn Ahmad al-Farahidi, yani the group of scholars which was headed by Imam Khalil ibn Ahmad al-Farahidi, they told that we should keep the number of makharij as 17. Okay, and we know which all the makharij is 17. Now there are other two schools of thought where they told it is not 17, it is 16, okay, which was proposed by Imam Sibawi. Imam Sibawi. Okay, so Imam Sibawi is the student of Imam Shatibi. Okay, you all know about Imam Shatibi. Actually, Imam Shatibi is the teacher of Imam Sibawi. Okay, but this school of thought or this madhab is actually named after Imam Sibawi. Okay, so why they are saying it is 16? As to them, the jawf is not there. Okay, the concept of the jawf, that means the empty space in the mouth and the throat, which is for the mad letters, it was proposed by only one opinion. There are three opinions, not in any other opinion or school of thought, there is no jawf. Okay, so I'm just giving you an extra information. You can just keep that in mind. But anyways, we are following the 17, so don't, maybe you might think, so that is what I'm telling. Okay, sometimes the sisters, they will say that they can't feel the jawf. It's okay if you can't feel the jawf. If you make the sound properly, then it doesn't matter. Okay, and even the group of scholars, we have two schools of thought there without the jawf. Okay, but of course, as a tajweedic students, you have to understand the jawf. You have to feel that it is the jawf is a separate makhraj. Okay, and this is the widely accepted opinion also. Let me conclude. The third madhab, it says that it is only 14, not even 16. Okay, so this is the madhab of Imam Farwa. Okay, so this Imam Sibawi madhab, which is supported by Imam Shatibi. Okay, Imam Khalil bin Ahmad al-Farahidi, it was supported by Imam Ibn al-Jazari. Okay, now the third school of thought, it is that of Imam Farwa, okay, which was supported by Imam Qutrub. Imam Qutrub. Okay, it's not necessarily you need to study this, but it is just that extra information. You can just keep this in mind. Okay, so what they told, they agreed that there is no jawf. Okay, so then it became only 16. Now, what about the two other makharij? Which two makharij they reduced? They reduced the makhraj of the lam, noon, and ra. Okay, so in the first two schools of thought, we have separate lam, noon, and ra. But in the madhab of Imam Farwa, they don't have separate makharij for lam, noon, ra. Instead, they kept one single makharij for these three letters. Okay, as to the opinion of them, the hitting area, the tongue is rising and hitting above. It is all the same area. It is the almost around the muqaddimul hanak, so they kept it as one. Okay, so like the whatever it is, they are not changing the sound of the letter. Okay, it is only the understanding of the makhraj, or the, let's say, like how they are keeping it as same place or different place. Okay, that is what matters. Okay, so this is about that. This just I'm telling about the number. Okay, so the jawf is only for the madhab of Imam al-Jazari. So the number, if you are saying the 17, from where it came from the madhab of Khalil ibn Ahmad al-Farahidi, which was supported by Imam Ibn al-Jazari. Okay, so you can keep that in mind. So now the select the permanent sifa. Actually, we didn't cover any of these, but then again, you know, okay, the permanent sifa, istifal is a permanent sifa, Sofir is also a permanent sifa. So both are correct answer. Okay, it's a permanent. I didn't say again with opposite or without opposite. Okay, you can select both of them. Both are correct answers, but not the mad. Alhamdulillah, no one selected the mad option. Okay. Dash are those sifa which will never leave the letter in any condition. Okay, so that is sifa asaliya. Maybe these sisters, only one sister got it wrong. Maybe you didn't know the Arabic term. Okay, you can just keep it like asal. Asal means the original, or you can say the which was present. It is with the letter in all situations. Okay, so it is the first option, sifat al-asaliya. Write any two advantages of studying the sifat of the letter. You can take any two. It is directly from this right. Okay, you can just keep in mind any. We can understand the presentation of a letter, and we can understand the category of the letter. Okay, we can avoid the major mistakes or minor mistakes. Like that, you can write any two of the advantages. Write two differences between the Sifa, Rakhava, and Jahr. Okay. So I have gone through quickly through the answers. Alhamdulillah, most of you have written. So one can be on the perspective, whereas the Rakhava, the perspective is on the sound, whereas for the Jahr, it is on the air. Okay, the Rakhava is the Sifa on the perspective of sound, whereas the Jahr, it is a Sifa on the perspective of air. The second point, you can write either the letters, okay, or you can write the Rakhava, it is determined by the gap in the makharaj of the letter, whereas the Sifa Jahr, it depends on the opening or closing of the vocal cord, which it depends by the strength of the makharaj. Okay, so like that you can write, okay, and the Rakhava, the letter or the letters of Rakhava can be either Jahr or Hams. That also you can write, okay. Yani we studied that from the Rakhava letters, it was yani the what the Jahr and Hams letters were there, right? So like that, any differences, it's a simple question you can write. Write briefly how the Shidda is sold in the Majhura. Okay, so here a few sisters, they wrote only about the Qalqala. No. So listen, read the question carefully. It is about the Majhura. Okay, so for the Shidda, we studied that the Shidda can be the Shadida letters, Shidda letters can be either a Majhura or a Mahmusa. Okay, the Ajid Qatin Bakat, Hamza and the Qaf Taba Jim Dal will be Jahr, whereas the kaf and the ta will be a hams letter. So I'm not asking about the kaf and the ta, the other two categories. The first about the hamza and the second about the qutubajat letters. Okay, so you can write as to that. Yani, the qutubajat letters, they will solve the shidda through qalqala, whereas the hamza, there is no way of solving, but instead we will recite with the tahqiq. Okay, with the proper haqq of the letter, with the proper makhraj, with the proper sifa, everything. Understood? So that's how you can write that. Explain the mechanism of sound formation in the letter kaf and the ta when it is a sakin. Okay, so it is the question for explain. So you have to explain a little bit. Okay, it is not like a one sentence. Okay, or maybe a long one sentence or two sentence. Okay, it is just like explain. Okay, but of course I went through a little bit. You know the answer, but only thing is that how to put in the step by step, there is a little bit confusion. So first you can talk about the makhraj of the letter. It is how, yani, whatever quality of a letter is being asked, you have to start with the makhraj of the letter. Okay, here it's being asked for the letter kaf and the ta. So you can first talk about the makhraj of the kaf, where the aqsa lisan is rising and it is hitting the junction of the hard palate to soft palate, more so on the hard palate, right? So this letter, it has a weak sifa hams. That means the vocal cords will be separated. Okay, don't write there is a gap in the vocal cord. Okay, it is a kind of it's not a good concept. Gap in the vocal cord. You can say the vocal cords are separated. Okay, because of the weakness, the vocal cords are separated and the air will be releasing along with the sound. Okay, so when the makhraj is given, that means it is a shidda. The makhraj, the back part of the tongue will raise and it will cover the upper roof completely, so that the sound and the air will get stuck at the makhraj. It will be blocked, whether the air, whether the sound, it will be blocked at the makhraj. Okay, so after giving the makhraj, when the makhraj is being separated, the air will be released and we will be able to hear the sound of the air only. Okay, and this is how you can give the answer. But most of the sisters, very few sisters, they got it. It's not a wrong, but the step by step, first they wrote about the something. There was, let me check that answer. These letters are produced with sukun. First shidda happens, then the air trapped in the makhraj is released. Yeah, okay, good. This is good. First shidda happens, if a hams occurs for kaf and the ta, makhraj is strong for shidda. There is no gap between two bonding, but after shidda hams occurs because it is weak, so the gap occurs between the makhraj. There's something there. Okay, let it be. So, alhamdulillah. So I hope you have done good revision, right? We did cover the rakhava, right? We finished rakhava, right? Now we have to take Tawasut. Can anyone confirm? We did Rakhava or not? Slide number 42. Okay, so we didn't do the Rakhava, right? Okay. Okay, so we finished Alhamdulillah until the Shiddah. So we were in the perspective of the Sifa on the perspective of sound. Okay, let's start this. Okay, so we already know that there are three Sifa. Okay, Rakhava, Shidda is the, let's say the opposite Sifa. This is the category of opposite Sifa. So actually the opposite Sifa is the Rakhava and Shidda. So why this Tawasut came as a third, as a moderate Sifa? Okay, inshallah, we will do that once we finish the Rakhava. So the first we did about the Shidda, because of the makhraj, the articulating parts, they will come closer to each other in a way that there is no gap between them. Okay, so the letters we studied about the Hamza, then Qutubajat, and the Kaf and the Ta, the three category. Okay, now the second sifa, which is exactly the opposite of the Shidda, which is Rakhava. So Rakhava, the word meaning is softness. Okay, but as to Tajweed, how will we explain the Rakhava? It is the complete flow of the sound of the letter as its sound passes in the makhraj. That means we are giving a makhraj. We are making an articulation point. Okay, of course, with the two articulating parts, we are colliding, we are making a collision, and the sound formed at the makhraj. Okay, and what happens to this sound further? This is what determining the sifa, whether it is shidda, rakhava, or tawassut, right? So what happens to this sound, which is formed at the articulation point? There is no obstruction there, okay? So that the sound is completely flowing out freely. This is rakhava. Okay, there is this makhraj, okay? And this makhraj will happen in a way that when we do the letter, there is a gap in the makhraj which allows the free flow of sound which was produced in the makhraj. There is no obstruction in its path. That's it. If there is any obstruction which is partial or complete, which will lead to the other two sifa, whether it is a shidda or whether it is a tawassut. Understood? For the rakhava, there is no obstruction in its path. It allows the free flow of sound. Okay, this is rakhava. Okay, so we will just go through a few characteristics of the rakhwa letter, the rakhwa letters. The letters are فَحَثَّهُ شَخْصٌ سِين يَغْزُو ذَا ذِو. Why there is a the? The alif is also there. The alif means what? It is the mad letter. It is not just the alif. It can be the alif madiyya, waw madiyya, ya madiyya. Okay, they are rakhaba. That means it is coming from the empty space in the mouth and the throat. That means there is no obstruction. It should be flowing out freely. Okay. So free flow of sound happens at the makhraj. It can be either majhur or mahmus. It gives weakness to the letter, hence it's a weak sifa. Okay, just like last time we explained that the shidda, it gives strength to the letter. You can feel the strength when you do a letter. Let's say the za and the sin. Okay, the za, it is a jahar, we told that earlier, and the sin, even though both are rakhava, only that what gives the strength, we can feel that strength, it is because of the jahar. So that means the jahar gives strength to the letter. Now from the shidda and the rakhava. The shidda, it is a quality that gives strength to the letter. Okay, let's say talk about the letter, the pa and wa. Okay, the pa and wa. Okay, almost all letters are, all sifat are equal except for the qalqala. Of course, qalqala is something emerged from something different, right? So let's keep the qalqala aside. Other than qalqala, what is the difference between the letter ta and the wa? The pa is a shidda, whereas the wa is a rakhava. So you can feel that strength in that letter. If the pa, every letter, every sifat present in this letter is a strong sifat. Okay? And whereas the wa, the jahar, then the isti'la, then the itlaq, it is all same, but except for what? Rakhava. Understood? So this is how it is, and you can feel that weakness in the bonding. When you are giving the proper bonding, you will feel that strength of the letter if it is a strong cipher, and you will feel that weakness if it is giving a weak letter. Understood? So free flow of sound happens at the makhraj. Why this is happening? It is because, as I explained, let's take one example, then it will be more clear. Okay, let's say letter sheen. So what is happening with the letter sheen? When you give the makhraj of the letter sheen, okay? So give me the makhraj of the letter sheen. What happens? The makhraj of the letter sheen. Hmm? Wasatul lisan, okay? Give me the specific makhraj. Wasatul lisan, more appropriate, and the other hitting area also. Wasatul lisan along with the middle of the hard palate. Okay, middle part of the hard palate. Okay. So let's say, which are the other letters? Of course, you know the makhraj of the uh, sheen. We have other letters, jim, sheen, and yeah, right? Let's look into the makhraj of these three letters quickly. Okay. So what is the difference between these three letters? Or let me ask you a question. Even though jim and the sheen are coming from the same makhraj, the the sheen has the tafashi, or the flow of sound with the air, whereas the jim doesn't have that. What is the reason? Space between the makhraj. Very good, Sister Wajida. Okay. Yeah, that is the main difference we can say. For the jim, the articulating parts are so tightly closed that makes it shidda. It is completely shidda. It is blocking. But whereas for the sheen, what happens? There is a small gap in the middle, which allows the flow of sound freely without any obstruction. Okay. And of course, because of little bit other qualities, it is giving rise to tafashi also. Inshallah, that we will study when we do the tafashi. Okay. Now, what about the ya? The ya again, the gap between the upper roof and the tongue, it is little bit more than the she. Okay, so that is the special quality of the ya. The ya, it will change its qualities as to what kind of haraka it is carrying. If it is a mutaharrika, it will be of one quality. When it is a sukun, it will show different quality. When it is a shadda, it will again show different quality. So it is a peculiarity of the letter ya. You all know that, right? So what is the speciality when the ya is a sukun? Ya is a mutaharrika. We know that we have to give the proper makhraj of the letter ya. Now about the ya is a sukun, what is the speciality? If the ya is a sukun, what happens to the letter? Yeah, lean quality. Okay, so the lean, and then if we have to more, let's say, let's think out of the box. Okay, so ya sukun is there, so it is only lean will come to it, or any other quality will come depending on the haraka it carries. Let's say the ya is a sukun. Okay, so you are saying it's a lean. So hamza fatha ya sakina lean. Of course, yeah, mad is also there. But what is the difference between the mad letter and the lean letter? Other than the structure, yeah, it is the mechanism of sound formation. Yes, it is also different. Makhraj is different. Very good. Okay. So with the mad letter, we know that the makhraj is the jaw. Okay. And when it is a lean letter, what is the makhraj? Makhraj of a lean letter? Makhraj of a lean letter. So let's say my question is differentiate between the ya madiyya and ya lean. The first point you can talk about the makhraj. Yeah, it is not jawf. That is a misconcept. Okay. Most of the sisters, they will feel like the ya lean, we will use the jawf. No, it is not the jawf. The makhraj of a lean letter is the makhraj of the ya itself. It is the wasat al-lisan. Only difference is that we are applying the sifa, the lean. That's it. Okay, so don't confuse with these two. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. You can just put it in a notes with 2 stars or 3 stars. Like, don't confuse with that. Okay, the mechanism of sound formation. Let's say it is the vibration for the mad letter, and for the lean is also it is the vibration itself, but along with the makhraj of the letter. Okay, that means we have to, the sound formation, the exact formation of the sound is the makhraj, but we have to keep the makhraj of the ya also. The makhraj of the lean letter is the makhraj of the letter itself. Whether it is a waw lean or whether it is a ya, only difference is that we will not, for ghayr madiyya, it is the wasat al-lisan. Yeah, for the lean is also, it is the wasat al-lisan. That is what I'm telling. Okay. So about the sheen, so how come the letter Jim, it is a shidda because the makhraj is completely closed, whereas the letter sheen, middle opening will be happening. Okay, I want to talk about the middle opening also. Okay, let's say this is my tongue. If you see in different view, okay, this is my tongue which is raised, or let's say this is my upper roof. Okay, let's say this is my tongue. Okay, so this is the makhraj of the letter Jim. Okay. Now for the sheen, what happens? I will draw twice. You have to tell me which one is correct. Okay. This is one and another one. This is it. Which one is correct for the sheen? This is the first one. Second one. Select which one. How you are making your tongue for the letter sheen. You can do the sheen. Hamza fatha with the sheen sukun. Do it and tell me which one you are using, the first one or the second one. Okay, only 2 sisters in the class. How much time it will take to just type a number? Second, 1, 2. I want everyone to type. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only 6 sisters. Come on. Okay, 2, 2, 2. 1, 2, 1. Okay. So 90% you marked as 2, but the 1 is the correct answer. From the picture, you might feel like this is the gap between happen, but no, the 1 is the correct answer. How can you do the shin? Just do it. Just do it. See why you are selecting the number 2, because you are not feeling the makhraj. Feel the makhraj. The sides of the tongue, yani the wasat al-lisan, it is still in the upper roof, right? Only a small opening is happening in the middle. This is the makhraj. You can do ad, ash, ay, ay. Of course, I little bit give pressure to the makhraj in order to show the sound. Or let's say yeah, you, ye. Even I'm saying yeah, how the makhraj will be. Okay, again, now you have to select the correct one. Okay, if yeah will be he like this, or yeah will be like this. Which one? Again, this is the first one, second one. What is the makhraj of the ya? It's the first one. Okay. So why in the image you are seeing like this? Because it is the cross section, right? If you cut, like this, it will be seen like this only. Okay. So don't think like this is the opening for the sheen and the ya. No, this is the wrong. Understood? Okay. Then only, the special sifat will work for the letter sheen, especially. Okay, inshallah, that we will discuss at that time. So just keep that in mind. Okay, the makhraj of the sheen. Okay, one more thing. Okay. Let's say these are some cautions we can take regarding the makhraj of the letter. Okay. Again, for the whole letters, for the Jim, Sheen, and Ya. Okay, for the 3 letters, I'm asking which is the hitting area. Okay, let me draw the upper roof. Okay, so let's say this is my teeth. This is my teeth. Okay, and from the teeth there is the gum, and then the muqaddimul hanak, and then the pit area will start, and then it will come like this. Okay, let's say this is my let me draw the parts also. So until here it is the gums, it is the muqaddimul hanak area. Okay, and then from here the groove is starting. You know, we have a groove here, right? And from here it is the soft palate starting. Okay, so my question, let me mark the areas. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, no, you know that it won't go to 3, right? So give me which is the hitting area for the makhraj of Jim, Sheen, and Ya. It is not necessarily that you have to point the number. You can say to the middle of the 2, or the junction of 1, 2, or the middle of the 1, or the starting of the 1, like that. You can a little bit. So if you say 2 means, I will think like you have to hit the complete 2. Middle of 2. Okay. Middle of 2. Middle of 2. Everyone is of the same opinion. Let me count that. I want everyone to answer. Not just 4 or 5 sisters. I have 20 sisters in the class. Middle of 2. Just do it. Don't just copy others. If you feel like 3 also, it is fine. It doesn't matter if you make mistake. Okay. So think this opportunity as a chance to correct yourself. Just do the makhraj 2-3 times and feel where you are touching, whether it is the 3, whether it is the 2, whether it is the 1, or in between 1 and 2, or between 2 and 3. Just feel it, and Jim is the middle of 2. Okay. So that means for the Sheen and the Ya, okay, for Aisha 2, but towards 3. So as to Asna, that means for the Sheen and the Ya, you are doing different. Maybe that might be your answer. Okay. So that's it. Every sisters, they typed. Okay, but I will say it is the here, the starting point of 2. Anyone agrees with me? Between 1 and 2. Yeah, better. But I will say it is the starting point of 2. Even not between any, I'm not going to the Muqaddim al-Hanak. 1 and 2. Khadija selected 1 and 2. Okay, so why it is in the middle of the 2? Because, you know, as you explained earlier, the makhraj of the Jim, it is the middle of the tongue with the middle of the upper roof. So in your mind, this is the upper roof. Okay, hard palate. Okay, not the middle of the upper roof. You told like middle of the hard palate. So you will exactly think like the middle of the hard palate. So it will be like almost like here, just like lots of sisters they have answered. But if you see, okay, now let's, I don't know if it is clear in the animation. Okay, so how the tongue is raising and hitting. Okay, see, actually it is the beginning point of the, if you're doing, see the Wasutul Lisan, actually this is the Wasutul Lisan. But in the image, you will feel like it is the almost to the front. No, it is how the tongue is. The tongue, it is a muscle. It is a very flexible muscle. It can stretch to its maximum and it can shrink also. So actually the Aqsal Lisan is too much stretched, and the Wasatul Lisan has shrinked. And what it is happening, it is hitting like in this way, not in this way, not to upper of like straight. No, this is a misconcept. So when the tongue is raising and hitting, it should be like this, in this way. Now you try to do the makhraj. Aj, not aj. Understood? If you say aj, j, like you are giving a 12 o'clock direction, then it is a wrong mechanism. Understood? Yani you can't rise the middle of the tongue to middle of the upper lip like this. No. Slightly slant the area of hitting like this. In this way. Edge, edge, edge. The beginning point, or you can see the groove is starting. Remember? Behind the muqaddimul hanak, yani the gum line area, the pit will start, right? There is a groove. There is a cave-like structure will start. So almost to that area. Not to the muqaddimul hanak, but that the starting of the cave area. You know why that area is so important? If you are using this area, like in this direction, the sound like a j, 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 j. No, a j, j. It should be completely shidda. A j, a j, ash. Now you can feel the proper direction. Ash. And yeah is a little bit difficult, and the jim is also difficult as to my opinion. But if you get the makhraj properly, keep the sheen as a precept. As the we will keep a level for the jim and the yeah, and you can keep it as sheen. Ash. Now you can feel that small opening in the middle in this way. Okay, in this way, and then you can feel the area of hitting also. Did anyone feel anything from this picture, or from this concept? I really wish you get what exactly what I am meaning. Okay, is it clear? Okay, alhamdulillah. So that's it about the letter, the Rakhava letters. Okay, then again we have calcula concept. Okay, alhamdulillah. So yeah, so same way in the picture. I didn't understand. So you're telling I'm not doing it properly, or you want me to repeat like this? See, like this, the hitting area like this. Okay, Adla, is it clear? Is it clear, Adla? Maybe I didn't understand your question properly. The other one you asked one or two, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So is there any problem? Front view, not front view. I can't draw front view. How can I draw front? It's a side view, right? It is just like, the picture is showing, the animation is showing. Didn't I draw like that? I wanted to draw like that. See, like this I drew, right? Okay, clear? Okay, hope it is clear. Or else you can contact me later. Inshallah, I will explain you. Okay. So this Rakhawa letter, it can be a majhur or it can be a mahmus. Okay. So majhur means what? There won't be any air along with the sound of the letter. Whereas for the mahmus, there will be a lot of air along with the sound of the letter. Okay. Let's say S, as. Even though they are from the same makhraj, what happens? They are Rakhawa also. But the sin is a hams, whereas the za, it is a jahar letter. Right? For the za, the vibration of the vocal cord will be happening, whereas for the sin, the makhraj, the vocal cords will be relaxed. Okay, they will be separated. So that's about Rakhava. Now we will move to the third quality of the same perspective, which is the tawassut. Okay, one thing you have to keep in mind. Actually, as I told earlier, the sifa is opposite itself, yani it is the shidda and rakhaba. Because of some special situations happening at the makhraj, or maybe because of the speciality in the makhraj itself, it is giving to a third quality, which is a tawassut, which happens to only the letters lam, noon, ain, meen, and ra. Okay, we will go through each and every letter why it became tawassut. Okay, So the tawas of the term, it means moderation. And in tajweed, what we say, it is between the strength and the softness. What is strength means? It is the word meaning of the jahr. Softness, not, sorry, shidda. Word meaning of the shidda. Softness is the word meaning of rakhab. So that means tawassut is a quality which is between the shidda and rakhaba. It's a quality which is between shidda and rakhaba. That means uh, it can be the complete blocking of the sound, and it can be and, not or, and it can be complete flow of sound. It is in between. Okay, that means partial flow of sound will happen to these letters. The sound is partially imprisoned and partially flowing. That is exactly what we are describing for the Shidda and the Rakhawa. So why this tawassut is happening for these letters, Lin, Umar? We will take it can be any of these three reasons. The first one, for the noon and the meme, what happens? Let's say, tell me about the makhraj of the noon and the meme. We will go one by one. First, let's take the letter lam. Give me the makhraj of the letter lam. It is already there. Let me go back. Yeah. Think about the makhraj of the letter lam. Type it quickly. Makhraj of the letter lam. Let's take it as a revision also. Adna al-hafa. Okay, that means the hafat al-lisan and gum line area of the front 8 teeth. We all know that, right? So actually, as to the structure, you can see here, okay? So if the makhraj is doing like that, okay, don't confuse with the picture, okay? It is exactly the hafa here, okay? Or maybe you will think like it is given as tarf al-lisan. No. Maybe in the picture, it is not that much clear. Okay, so when the makhraj is happening, what happens? The adnal hafa, it is rising. That means the front part of the tongue, it is rising. The front edge of the tongue will be touching the 8 teeth area, right? So you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4. Then again 5, here also 5. Then 6, 6, like 7, 8. Like that, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here also 1, 2, 3, 4. The 8 teeth area. It will be covering the 8 teeth area. Let me check if I have given that picture or not. No, that picture is not here. Okay. So tongue will be spreaded. That means it will be extremely spreaded, and the hafa will work, and it will raise, it will touch, and it is like shutting of the door. Okay. So how the sound is happening? The sound is happening at the articulation point. Remember? So if I raise my tongue, okay, and it is hitting the upper roof, the sound is produced, right? But here, let's say, let's mark like a black color, okay? So let's say the sound is produced, but the sound produced at the makhraj has no way to come out. Understood? Here the sound is produced. The sound produced at the makhraj, it cannot come outside. Why? As you can see, it is completely closed. There is no way. There is no gap between the articulating parts. The sound is stuck at the makhraj. Okay, so what will happen to the sound? Okay, so the sound will be here, and it finds that there is a emergency exit through the sides of the tongue. Okay, as you can see here, there is a gap between the sides of the tongue, the edges of the tongue. Okay, so what happens? The sound that is produced at the makhraj, it will come back, and then it will escape through the sides of the tongue like this, the two sides. It will go this way and that way. Okay, so this is the theory. But practically, as to some scholars, it can happen in 3 ways. Okay, for some sisters, it is not possible for them to use both the sides, 1 and 2. They will either use the one way left side, or they will use the right side, or for some, both the inhiraf can happen through the sides. This mechanism we call as inhiraf, right? So what is this inhiraf? Inhiraf means, let's say, like you were drinking some water, okay, and this the water was there and it fell down and it was flowing through your table, okay, and then what you did was you took this cup and then you kept it in the path of the water which was flowing. So what happens to this water? It will change its path, right? It should have gone like this, but now it will not happen, but instead it will take a different way. It will go through the sides of the cup, right? Yes or no? Yeah, okay. So that means there was an original path, but because of some reason, the sound couldn't go through the exact path, but instead it took a alternate exit. That is what we call as drifting. You know, drift is a term mostly, you know, the racing, the vehicle racings they will use, right? You know, my kids will also say, you know, that drifting will happen like that. You know, it will they will say this term, right? For example, the car racing is happening. You know, there is a quick curve is happening. So the car was just coming too fast. What will happen? It should have gone like this, but it will not happen, right? So what will happen? From that speed, they will turn their direction, right? So they will call as drifting, right? Actually, the course was like this, the straight direction. But what they will do? They will change the direction. There was an original path, but because of some reason, the flow through the original path will not happen. But instead, they will take an alternate path. This is what we call as inhiraf. Yeah, very good. To take diversion on roads due to work in progress. Very good, Sister Sabah. Good observation, mashallah. Okay. So this is what we call as inhiraf. So here the inhiraf happened because the makhraj is closed. That means if you take the makhraj, actually this is like a shidda. Right? What is shidda? Shidda means there is no gap between the articulating parts. It's the same for the lam. When the makhraj happens for the lam, actually the shidda is happening there. Okay. But the sound produced at the makhraj, it finds an alternate path through the sides of the tongue. That means free flow of sound can also happen. But here what happens? The shidda, it causes the formation of the sound caught at the makhraj. It will deviate from its original path. It will escape through the sides of the tongue and it will take some time. Right? The formation of the sound, it will deviate from its position. That means it was at the front part of the tongue. The sound was at the front part of the tongue here. Then it will come back. It will deviate. It will come out through the sides of the tongue. It will take some time. And that time is what allows the tawassut for the letter. That means inhiraf is the reason for the tawassut for the letter lam. So why the lam became tawassut? Sorry, why lam became tawassut? Because of the inhiraf. Okay. If the deviation of the sound didn't happen for the letter lam, then the letter lam will be a shidda, right? If there is no space in the sides of the tongue, okay, then the sound produced at the makhraj of the lam has no way to escape, right? So that means the letter lam would have been a shidda if there is no space through the sides of the tongue. Is it clear now how the lam became a tawassut? Okay, alhamdulillah. Now we will move to the letter ra. Okay, so the ra, it is the same. Okay, let me talk about the lam mufakham also. So we know that the lam can be tafkhim, heavy, a lam can be light also. Lam mufakhama means, mufakham means the letter of tafkhim. Okay, letter of tarqiq we will call as muraqqab, right? So when the lam is a tafkhim also, the same mechanism will happen. Why I have kept a separate slide for this lam mufakham? Because the students who are beautifully doing inhiraf in the letter lam when it is a tarqiq, They will not do that in the tafkhim. They will make a shidda. Just like Allah, Allah. Why Allah? It is not Allah. It is Al. Can you feel the inhiraf? Just like you are doing Al, Al. Only difference is the sound direction, right? Let's say for the lamb, this is the makhraj, okay? Let it be a heavy letter. Okay. This is the heavy letter, okay? So the sound produced at the makhraj, okay? It will go and it will go like this to number 1 o'clock, okay? Ow, ow, ow. But whereas for the tarqiq lam, okay, where this tongue will be like this, what happens? The inhiraf will be coming down like this. Al, Al, Al towards downwards. The Wi-Fi symbol will be coming down for the tarqiq lam. Wi-Fi symbol will be going up to number 1 o'clock direction for the heavy lam. The inhiraf is there for the heavy lam or the light lam. Don't forget about the inhiraf part. Don't forget the tawasut they will give. See, the tawasut they can give by like an istitala. Like Allah. They will say, teacher, I am doing the timing. I don't understand what exactly you are saying. Dear, I'm not talking about the timing. I'm talking about the flow of sound. This is the flow of sound. This should happen when you are doing a tafkhim letter. تفخيم لام يعني لفظ جلالة like Allah, Allah. Where is the sound flow of sound? No, it is not happening. It should be Al, 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 just like Al, it is going to down, light letter. Same flow of sound should happen to Al, Al, Al. It is the same makhraj. The makhraj is not changing. But what else is changing? It is the back part of the tongue. The back part of the tongue is rising for the heavy. It is resting down for the light. No other difference will happen for the lam heavy. So why changing the letter? Yeah, because you are changing the makhraj. You are raising the sides also, you are sticking above, just like an itbaq letter. That is why when you are saying, you will hear the sound of almost like a bod. Of course, I can't say it is a bod, but it is a mix-up between the bod and the law sound. Why reason? The reason is because you are not making the gap for the inhiraf. You can say yourself, right? First you do 10 times not for the sake of me, but you have to feel the makhraj. You have to feel that inhiraf happening. Same makhraj, same makhraj. Don't think about the back part of the tongue. It will come out naturally. Okay, don't think. They think about the makhraj of the letter. Lam, where you are doing for the it is the same the place it is for the Allah, Allah, and raise the sound. The sound flow should be to number 1. That is the difference. Allah, Allah. Feel the flow of sound. Allah, Allah, Allah. Okay, clear about the light lam and heavy. Okay. Now we will move to the next letter. Okay, I hope we can finish the verse today. Inshallah. Okay. So now about the letter Ra. The Ra is also the same. What happens? The Ra, last class we talked about the Wahar Taraf al-Lisan and Taraf al-Lisan and the Hafat al-Lisan, everything, right? So today, let me tell you the hitting area or how to control the proper sound of the letter Ra. Okay, so actually this is the makhraj of the letter Ra. Okay, even though we are saying the top of the tip of the tongue to the upper roof, to the gum area in front of the makhraj of the noon. This is how we are explaining the makhraj of the letter Ra, right? So when you are raising the tip of the tongue, okay, see very small area you can see it is touching here. Okay, that small area is what it is zoomed into here. Okay, it is the same area, it is just zoomed in the top view, or you can say anterior view. Okay, this is the front part of the tongue. Okay, and this is the two area which is coming in contact with the upper roof. Okay, it is a small area from here. Okay, so what happens is that when you raise the tip of the tongue and you will hit the upper roof, actually it is like the clapping of the hand will happen. And what happens if I clap my hands? That means two articulating parts are coming together and hitting with a strong bonding, and then you will be able to hear the sound. Okay, so actually when you're raising the front part of the tongue and it hitting above, actually the complete area of the ظهر طرف اللسان will come and touch the upper roof. But then what happens? Okay, so if you made the upper the makhraj I told you, one clapping of the hand, and here inside the mouth it is not hands. Okay, it is the tongue and the upper roof. I'm just for your better understanding, I'm saying it is just like the mechanism of clapping of the hand. The same will happen at the upper roof. Okay, do you know the clapping of the tongue, what we call this? I told you the clapping of the sound will happen for the ra. So what do we call for that sound? When you make the proper makhraj of the letter ra, you will make one similar to clapping mechanism. Takrir. Very good. There is no need of question mark, Sister Adla. It is beautiful answer. MashaAllah. Yeah? Yes, Sister Wajida also. It is the takrir will happen. That is exactly the clapping. If I clap continuously inside the mouth, what will happen? Understood? It is just like the clapping mechanism. What is happening with the tip of the ظهر طرف اللسان and the upper roof. Understood? But now the makhraj of the ra, you can see the tongue, it is extremely stretched. Okay, see, the tongue is stretched to its extreme along with the upper roof. You can see the tongue, the tip of the tongue has to reach the front end, and the back part of the tongue will be raised. Okay, so that means the tongue will be stretched at its maximum, what can I say, maximum limit. Okay, it is just like, just imagine a situation. You are walking through a door, okay, and you want to touch the upper part of the door, okay, but you can't reach with the your hand. So at the first time, or you want to just touch it, okay, the extreme top part of the door, what you will do, you will use your maximum strength and you will jump, or you will stretch at the first time and you will touch there. But maybe the second time or third time, it will not happen. You won't be, how much you try, you won't be able to reach the same height. Does it ever happen to you like this? And you want to reach for the maximum height. At the first time, you will try your best and you will touch it, but then you won't be able to touch it, right? Does it happen ever? Does it ever happen to you? Maybe if we want to take something from too much height, we will jump, we will touch it at first time, but then it won't be possible. It is same, it happens for the letter ra. The beginning, we are raising, we are thinking about the bonding and all, we are raising the tongue and we are hitting the upper roof, and then the takrir will happen. But then what happens? Then we, this is the extreme, the Ra'sul Lisan, right? Then after the first hitting, the Ra'sul Lisan won't be, I'm not exactly telling it is a Ra'sul Lisan, but the extreme tip, you can see the darkened, the black colored area is the area I told as the makhraj. So there is a blue color area, you can see. This area, it is impossible for this area to touch the upper roof. This is what we call as middle opening. Actually, this is not a middle opening. Okay, but of course, for the basic students, we have to say this is a middle opening. Then what happens is that, they will think about middle opening. How will I make a middle opening in the middle of the tongue? It is not happening. Think about the area where the tongue is coming in contact. This opening, of course, I don't want to say the middle opening. Let's say it's a gap. This area is won't be able to touch unless you give some extra pressure. That means it is not that I won't be able to make the takrir. No, I can make ra, ra, ra. See, you can now hear 3 or 4 takrir. 3 or 4 clapping happened at my makhraj. Why? I gave extra pressure. Of course, I am forcing my tongue to upper roof and it is making repeated sounds. R, 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 Rabbi, Rabbi. No need for extra pressure. Just do it naturally. Raw, enough. Raw. You can see the first, see, this is the first clapping that is happening. First tikrar. First tikrar happens means what? That is the sound produced at the makhraj. So is it clear until here? Then only I can explain the remaining. Is it clear? Can I get 2, 3 yes? Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, now let me explain what happens next. Okay, so here, the sound here, it is produced, right? Which color I will use? Maybe black. Okay, so the sound, remember about the clapping and all, the sound produced at the makhraj. Okay, so just imagine there is a bowl of water. Okay, I am dipping my hand in the bowl of water. Okay, let's say this is the bowl of water. It is filled with water. And then I am dipping my hand, okay, in the bowl. And then I am raising my hand like this. Okay, this is, let's imagine this is my finger. Okay, so now I am dipping inside the water and I am keeping my hand like this. So what happens? The water will, what will be the direction of the water? It will come down like this, right? Yes or no? Right? Okay, so just like that, you know, here the sound produced and the sound will come down. The sound produced at the makhraj. Remember about the clapping and all, the sound is produced. This, at that time, the sound will come down. Now, what happens? Now, the sound produced, it is traveling backwards, okay, to the middle of the tongue. It is coming towards the middle of the tongue. Now, what happens at this time at the front point? The gap is happened. Understood? So, until this time, there was no space for the sound to escape. But now the door is opened. So what happens? The sound will then re-travel backwards. It will redirect again to front and then it will escape through the gap in the front part at the makhraj. Is it clear now? It is less like the folding of the batter. You know, when we are going to make dosha, what we will do? We will not just take the batter from the fridge and we will just scoop out a spoon and we will just do, no. Okay, let me explain that again. Okay, the sound will produce at the makhraj. Okay, remember? Now you know how the sound is produced. I taught about the clapping, the takrir, the sound produced at the makhraj, right? Sister Farzina, you understood how the sound is produced, right? Okay, so this sound the sound produced at the makhraj, it will travel backwards, just like just if I am dipping, because you know that the tongue is extremely stretched, it is raising to the maximum height. So the sound is produced at the top, the maximum height. So that sound will travel downwards. Just like I told you, if I dip my hand in a bowl of water and if I raise my hand, what happens? The water will spill from my hand through towards downwards, right? It is just the same mechanism. It will happen at the sound formation. Okay, so it will happen like this. And now the takrar happened and the middle opening will happen naturally, right? And this, the sound that has traveled backwards, what happens? Now there is a gap for the sound to escape. Here there is no sideways, just like the lamb. For the lamb, there was sideways. If for the raw also, if there was sideways, then it will have escaped through this. But for the raw, it is not possible. So there is actually, until here, there was no space. then the door is opened, yani the middle gap will happen for the ra. Then what happens? The sound which was coming down to the middle of the tongue, it will redirect, it will go back again, it will go up, and then it will go to, whether it is a tafkhim, it will go up, tafkhim, it will go down. Understood? Is it clear now? Okay. Now, let me give you one more point about like this. Let me explain that for you. Okay. So this is the hitting area. This is a small area. It is not a bigger area. Okay. It is a small area. Okay. Let me clear again. Okay. So you can see here, what is the hitting area of the letter R? Okay. So if this is my makhraj, see, this is the area where it is coming in contact. So whenever you are doing the makhraj of the ra, don't think about the middle opening, but instead think about these two area of hitting happening at the zahar taraf al-lisan, top of the tip of the tongue. If you focus on these two red area, then believe me, the takrir will be very easy for you, and you will not make extra takrir, and inhiraf will happen naturally. Repeat after me. Arrow, 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 arrow. Okay, if you practice this, you will be able to control your takrir. Okay, the adhan is gone. Let me quickly finish one more thing. It is about the, sometimes, you know, when you are doing, especially the letter ra with a bomba, your teacher will say that it is not tafkhim enough, like ru. See, this sound will happen. To bashirun, ru. And then the teacher will say, dear, there is no tafkhim. And you will think, what is this? I'm doing the maximum tafkhim. Ru. No. But then teacher will cry, oh. So then they will take, okay, then wow madhiya also I have to make it heavy. It is not talking about the wow madhiya, it is about the ra itself. But what mistake you did there, it is about the inhiraf. Remember, inhiraf is actually coming back and then redirecting. It is not just from here, it is only this direction. No. So it is just like, you know, you have to fold this sound like this. Always keep this direction for the letter ra, because this mistake always happen with the ra with the bomb. It is not ru, it is ru, 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 ru. Can you feel the difference? Ru, no, ru. Go back, come again. Go back, come again. Ru. And think about number one direction. Ru. Okay? Ra, ru. Ra, ru. Is it clear? The direction of, it's like, you know, folding of the batter. We will keep a spoon and then we will fold the batter, right? This same like that. We have this, let me do that for you. See, I'm keeping this is my batter and I'm keeping a spoon here. What I will do, I will first dip it, okay? And then I will make a circular motion and then I will do like this. It is the same like this we have to do for the inhiraf. Then it will be better to make, especially when the ra is with a bomba. Ru, not ru, no, ru, ra, ru, ra, ru. Is it clear? We will take a 15 minutes break and then we will come and then we will do quickly the tarqiq ra also, inshallah. Okay? Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yeah. Ar-Rahman. Okay, just 1 minute. Yeah, so when you think about the hitting area, if it is the tongue is like this, the two area where you are using to hit for the makhraj, okay, the two area. If you focus here, you can control the takrir to the maximum, inshallah. Okay. So this is about the ra tafkhim, ra when it is a heavy letter. Okay. Now what about the ra when it is a tarqiq? Okay. It is the same mechanism. Okay. Nothing special is happening unless we are raising the back part of the tongue for the heavy ra, and we are making it, relaxing it down for the daqiq ra. So what we have to keep in mind is that when you are doing the heavy ra or the light ra, the presence of takrir should be there. Okay. That means when you are stopping on a light letter, like khabir, then there is no takrir here. Khabir, no, it should be ir. The takrir, whether it is a heavy letter or a light letter, the presence of takrir in the one clapping. But the only thing is that it should be, a sound will be different because now we are doing the light ra. Earlier it was a arrow, arrow, arrow. Now it is a ir. Understood? So just keep that in mind also. So this is how the inhiraf is happening in the letter ra. And as we explained earlier, this inhiraf, when it is happening to the letter ra, that is coming back and then again raising up and going through the middle of the tongue to outside, sorry, tip of the tongue to outside, it allows, it takes some timing for the letter. Okay, so this gives the, or this makes the letter a tawassut. Okay, if you think about the makhraj, it was actually shidda in the beginning and later the middle opening is happening, and this allows the inhiraf, and thus the ra becomes a tawassut. Okay, so all this mechanism finally leads to a little bit timing to the letter ra, and hence it became in between the maximum timing and the minimum, the least timing. Thus it became a moderate timing. Okay. Now the letter no. So first mechanism, I earlier remember when we talked about how the tawassut is happening for the letters, the lam and the ra, it is because of the inhiraf. The same mechanism. Okay, when the inhiraf is happening for the letter lam and the ra, it allows some timing and hence they became tawassuts. Now for the noon and the meme, it is different mechanism. Okay, so what is happening with the letter noon and the meme? Okay, let's think about the makhraj of the letter noon and the meme. Okay, so for the noon, what happens? It is the tarf al-lisan, it is raising and it is hitting the upper roof, right? So it is not exactly as the letter ra, okay, because for the heavy ra, then the back part of the tongue will be raised and it will be a little bit, here you can feel like it is the same, but actually the noon, it will be coming to almost here. Okay, it is because of the picture, don't confuse like that. Okay. So about the letter noon, it is the tarful lisan, it is raising and it is hitting the upper roof. And for the meme, it is the two lips. Okay. So whatever makhraj, whether it is that of the noon or it is that of the letter meme, actually shidda is happening at the makhraj. Okay. Shidda is happening. That means the makhraj is completely closed. If you think about the letter noon or if you think about the letter ra. So why it is happening? Let's analyze through the muqaddimul hanak area. Okay. So you know the shape of the upper roof is in a way that it is broader at the end and it will narrows as we move forwards, right? So that means here it is like too much area, and then as we go from inside to outside, okay, until you reach the teeth area, the area is getting narrower and narrower, right? So from the lam, if the hafa touches like this, it will be completely shidda for the lam. And if the noon here, even though the noon, it is not touching completely, it's a small area, it is touching in the muqaddimul hanak here area, the tongue is raising and touching in a way that it is a shidda. Okay. The reason is because, I don't know how to explain that. For example, if this is the muqaddimul hanak is in a way that here you can feel the ridges. Okay, this is the ridges, and there is a kind of a small kind of depression. Understood? So what happens is that this noon and the ra is covering is depression. Depression. For the ra, what happens? It is like almost here, like this. So it is completely covering in the beginning. Remember, at the time of the clear is happening, it will be completely covering and it is become a shidda. Okay. Then for And for the noon also, it is almost a smaller area from the thickness of the tongue. It is covering the completely. So this area, it is already closed because of the muqaddimul hanak, and this small depression, completely it becomes shidda. There is no space for the sound to go through the makhraj. Minute. Okay, so this is how it becomes a shidda. So for the noon, the powerful lisan, yani the thickness of the tongue is raising and it is hitting here and it is completely closing the makhraj. Okay, and there is no possibility that sound will escape through the sides of the tongue, and you can feel, and you have to close your nose. Okay, close your nose, you pinch your nose, and then try to do the noon, and the sound flow is impossible. Okay, and the tongue is raising and hitting the upper roof in a way that the makhraj is completely closed. Okay, now there is another, and now you know that what happens then. Okay, let me open the animation then. Okay, so what happens, the meme, it is so clear, right? The front gate is completely shut. So what happens, you can see the arrows are escaping through the nasal cavity. The sound will be get struck at the makhraj, but then another way, the path is opened already and it will go through the khayshum. Now you might have a question, like, why the makhraj is closed and then the sound flow is happening through the khayshum? Why it is not inhiraf? Okay, why the lam and the ra has only inhiraf and not the noon and the meme, even though the mechanism is same? Can anyone give me the definition of ghunna? What is ghunna? Hmm? What is ghunna? Nasalization. Okay, can you give a slight definition? Let's wait. I will wait. Only nasal sound. Anyone knows a kind of definition? Okay, let me say that it is the sound. Of course, it is the nasal sound itself. Sound traveling through the nasal cavity, and the formation doesn't need the tongue. And the tongue is not involved at all in the formation of ghunna. Do you agree or not? Sending the sound through the nasal cavity and resonates. Okay, good. Okay, but my question, does the tongue is involved in the formation of the ghunna? Do we need tongue for the formation of ghunna? No. Okay, that means uh, the sound we can send directly from vocal cords through khayshum. Okay, so that is the ghunna. It doesn't need the involvement of ghunna. Okay, this is one thing you have to keep in mind. Now coming to the point, why the formation of the sound is not an inhiraf? Because you can check the image of the meme here. Okay, I thought I would have included everything in a one slide, right? Let me try. Okay, so here there is the meme. Okay, you can see here. I want you to picturize in your mind. Okay, now let me show you the picture of another makhraj here, the ra. Okay, the ra, or let me copy and let me show that to you. Okay, then I want you all to analyze the difference between these two makhraj. Okay, tell me, where is it? Okay, tell me that what difference you are seeing in these two pictures, other than the flow of arrow, something else you can see here. Yeah, mashallah, very good, Sister Wajida. So what is it about the uvula? Uvula is blocked for ra, and but for the noon it is there. That means when you do the makhraj of the letter noon and the meme, the uvula will be opened. That means the alternate path is opening. You know what is the function of the uvula? The uvula, it's the function is that it will close the nasal cavity. Okay, of course it is used for the articulation also, but the main function, it is, it can cover it. If it is raised and it is hitting to above, then it will be closing the opening for the nasal cavity. But when we do the makhraj itself is like that. When you do the letters, the noon and the meme, the uvula will be relaxed. Okay, the uvula will be relaxed and the alternate path is opened. And what happens? It doesn't matter what happened at the makhraj of the noon or meme. Now a different path is opened and a different flow of sound is happening from the vocal cord through Hayshum. Understood? What is inhiraf? Inhiraf is something, the sound produced at the makhraj which is deviating, yani it is taking a different path from where it is produced and it is released. But gunna is not like that. The gunna, it doesn't need the makhraj of the noon or the, it is an alternate path from the vocal cords to the directly through the khayshum to outside. Understood? It is the speciality of the gunna. So because of this reason itself, when we study gunna, I will explain that again. The scholars are of different opinion whether to keep the gunna as a different list, like we are saying the jawf, the mad letters, they have a complete makhraj, right? And from the empty space, from the throat, halq, like that, from the throat and the mouth, it is going outside like that. We would say for the jawf. So why don't we take the gunna as a different letter? Okay, so there is difference of opinion among the scholars. Even Imam Ibn al-Jazari, he included a gunna in the makhraj chapter, not in the sifat chapter. Okay, so inshallah we'll come to that later. So this is why the gunna is not considered as a what inhiraf. Okay, it is not an inhiraf for the noon and the meme. It is a different path which doesn't need the formation, the makhraj of the noon or the meme. That is the reason. Okay, so if you consider the makhraj of the noon and the meme, the two equal processes are happening at the same time. That means the makhraj of the noon and the meme, it is completely shidda, whereas an alternate or any alternate path is completely freely opened, which makes it rakhava. That means the noon and the meme, which is equally shidda and equally rakhava, it made the noon and the meme tawassut. It is not that it is for the lam and the ra, it is a different mechanism where the inhiraf allowed, gave some time for the lam and the ra and it became tawassut. But whereas for the noon and the meme, they are equally shidda and equally rakhava, which became a tawassut. Is it clear now how noon and meme became tawassut? Okay. Yes. Check that. Okay. Now one more letter is left, the letter Ain. Okay. We have 30 minutes almost. So for the Ain, what is the speciality of the letter Ain? What is the makhraj of the letter Ain? What is the pinpoint articulation point for the Ain? Yeah, it is the epiglottis, right? So epiglottis, or we can say the wasatul halq, and wasatul halq is the makhraj of the letter Ain. We can say the epiglottis will be pushed towards the walls of the throat, almost 90%. That means a little bit, a very point gap is between the makhraj and the at the makhraj, right? There is a small opening. Now let me give a small explanation about the epiglottis. You might have all studied from the qaida level itself. Okay, so it is the lid. It is the lid for the windpipe. Okay, it is like just like a leaf-like structure. Okay, it will be like this. Okay, so let's say it is normally it will be like this. Okay, it will be straight faced upwards like this. So when the situation demands, what happens, it will come closer to the wall and it will come and it will close the windpipe, especially when we are having our food and all. It will close the windpipe and then I don't want to explain too much. Okay, but I hope it's clear. You have already studied this from the Qaida Nuraniya. Okay, so What you have to keep in mind, Danny, the epiglottis, what it happens when it stretches, right? Uh, Now, what is our situation? We want to make the letter Ain, so we want to work the epiglottis, right? So as you can see here, let me go back. Okay, the epiglottis is towards the base of the tongue. So some sisters, they won't be able to feel, of course, in the beginning of their recitation, okay, they won't be able to feel the epiglottis, but what they will do, they will raise the tongue and make like a, of course, when they raise the tongue, the epiglottis will move along with it, right? So when they raise and make a makhraj sound of the letter Ain, it won't be a light Ain, but instead it will be a heavy Ain, okay? So make sure you are not raising the tongue. We can control the epiglottis without the tongue itself. Okay, so or just that you have to open the mouth maximum and then try to feel the epiglottis. So why you are opening the mouth maximum? If you open the mouth maximum, then you won't be able to do the mouth and the tongue and the epiglottis together. Okay, either you can raise the tongue or either you can raise the epiglottis. That is the only thing it's going to happen. So you can practice like that. So when the epiglottis, when you are stretching the epiglottis, when you are giving the makhraj of the ain, what happens? Let's say, okay, so this epiglottis is like this, okay, and then we are stretching the epiglottis. So let me draw like this, okay. So that means if this is the windpipe, okay, so it will stretch like this, okay, it will come like this. Only a very small opening will be left here. That means the sound is produced. The sound is produced here. Okay, let's say the sound is produced here, the Wi-Fi symbol. Okay, let's say here the Wi-Fi symbol. But the makhraj is partially opened. It is not completely closed. It is not completely open, but very less, just a point gap is there. So only that through that point, how much sound it can release, that much sound will be released. Okay. Or in another way, we can explain that, you know, this epiglottis, we can't keep stretched for longer time. Okay. We are not closing. We are just keeping it stretched, but we can't keep stretch this epiglottis for longer time. It will come back to its original position naturally. So only that time. That's it. So we are stretching and it is coming its own. So that is the partial way. For example, if we have to say F or Ash, we can keep running the sound as much as we want, but not the epiglottis. See, it is not possible at all. Or if we say, let's take another example like L, I can run as much as I want. L, L. If I keep the makhraj, of course I can do, but it is not possible. As I told you, know, the tongue is extremely stretched. We can't keep that much time for the makhraj or for the n, but not for the ain. Ah, ah. That's it. I can't make further sound. Okay, so the makhraj itself is in a way that it will make a partial sound, partial flow of yani, it will not allow much time considering the makhraj, but whatever it is produced at the makhraj, because of the small, very small gap in the middle, it will allow the partial flow also. Understood? So the two different mechanisms work together for the tawassut of the letter Ain. Is it clear now how the linear Umar became tawassut? Okay, so it's a very important concept. You can depend on the recording if you need further explanation, or if you have any doubt, you can ask. Also, I will try to explain. Okay, so this is about the Ain. Now the sifa of sound in the recitation, we have one important, and it has a major role in the timing of the letter. Okay, we have these qutubajat letters along with the hamza and ba kaf the then the lin Umar, and then the Rakhava. So how these sifa are depending on the timing or how they are related to the timing of the letters. Let's see. If it is a shidda, that means the blocking of the sound. You can ask me privately. The reason is because if I do to one person, I have to do it to every person. Okay, then I really don't want to break the this flow. Okay, that is the problem. Okay, I'm sorry. Or you can type, no problem, or you can ask me personally, no problem. Okay, inshallah. Because the persons who are depending on the recording, it will be a serious problem. That's the reason, inshallah. Okay. Yeah, so about the timing of the letter. So when they are the shidda, what happens is that they are completely closed. Yani the makhraj, the flow of sound is completely cut at that time. So it is shidda. That means how much you want to give the timing, it is not possible. So because of this reason, the shidda letters, they have the least time. But for the rakhava, where the complete flow of sound will be happening, and because of this reason, these rakhava letters have greatest timing. And for the tawassut, it is in between. That means it is not minimum, it is not maximum, but it is moderate. Let's take the example. Okay, remember, when we are talking about the timing of the letters, yes, we are talking about these letters when they are in the sukun or in the shadda. So why it is in the sukun or in the shadda? Because a letter will show its own inherent qualities in the best way when they are in the sukun state. Of course, in the shadda means the shadda letter has a sukun letter along with the mutaharrik letter. Okay, so when we are talking about the timing, always keep in mind we are either talking about the sukun state or in the shadda form. Okay, so let's take the example, yastabshirun. Okay, so give me the sukun letters in this word. When I am stopping on the word yastabshirun, which all sakin are there? Okay, seen, very good. Ba, noon, very good. Seen, ba, noon. Now give me seen, which letter is it? Is it among the ajidaqatin brackets? Seen. Whenever you see a sukun letter in the recitation or in the Quran or the Qaida Nuraniya, whatever it is, quickly this question should come to your mind. Whether this letter is a ajidaqatin brackets? No, it is a, yes, very good. Okay. For the seen, of course, it is not an ajidaqatin brackets. Whether it is a lin Umar? No, it is not a lin Umar. Now, the seen is a rakhava. So, seen is a rakhava means what? I have to give maximum timing. Okay. And now coming to the second letter, ba. Very good, mashallah, sabah. Yeah, seen is a rakhava, ba is a shadda. So how it should come to your mind quickly, when you are seeing this letter, ba, whether it is ajid qatin brackets? Yeah, it is an ajid qatin bracket. That means it's a shidda. So it has the minimum timing, the least timing. Of course, it has timing. I'm not saying it doesn't have any timing at all. No, it has timing, but it is the least timing. Now I am ending on the noon sakina. Whether the noon, is it among the ajid qatin brackets? No. Is it among the lin Umar? Yes. So I have to give the in between the seen and the ba. Right? The seen has the greatest timing. Ba has the least timing, whereas the noon will be having the moderate timing. Understood? Like this, you have to question yourself. When you see a sukun letter or a shadda letter, see in the next example, yusabbaha, yusabbaha, ba is having a shadda. It's not yusabbiha, yusabbaha. Okay, ba is having a shadda. So ba is which letter? Is it among the ajid bracket? Yes. So it has the least timing. Now the lillahi, lam, yes, it is among the lin Umar. So tawassut. Then as-samawati, seen, it is a rakhava. So which among these three has the greatest timing? Of course, the rakhava, the seen. Then the lam. Then the ba. Yusabbaha lillahi ma fis samawati. Yusabbaha lillahi ma fis samawati. Abba illa assa. Abba illa assa. Understood? The timing is different for these three letters. Why? Because these three are coming from three different quality. The ba is having a shidda, then the lam is having a tawassut, and the sin is having a rakhaba. Same as yastabshirun. Yastabshirun. When I'm stopping on the noon, I cannot say roon. No. Why? Because the noon we are not giving extra gunna, only the tawassut timing, which is least than the sin, but greater than the ba. Or you can't say yes, tabshirun, tab, b. This will also, some sisters, they will recite like this. No. Yes, tab, yes, tab. Understood? So like this, you have to fix your own rakhava timing, your own tawassut timing, your own shidda timing, whether it is a sukun or it is a shadda. Now what happens if it is carrying a haraka? So haraka means now it has countings, the timing. The haraka itself means the vowel counts. Okay. So when these letters, whether it is a shidda, rakhava or tawassut, carries a is a mutaharrika, that means carries a haraka, what happens? All haraka should be of equal timing, irrespective of the shidda, irrespective of the tawassut, irrespective of the rakhava. That means ba fatha ba, kha kasra khi, ba khi, lam fatha la, ba khila. See, 1, 2, 3, ba khila, equal timing. Ba khila. Okay, don't say ba khila. No, ba khila, ba khila. Understood? So when they are in the mutaharrik, they are going to have equal harakat timing. But then again, the tawassut, shidda, and rakhava are permanent qualities. These letters will show those qualities also. Understood? So how can I explain? Let me try. If I'm saying ba, fatha, ba, okay, we are giving a makhraj timing, okay, then from makhraj, I have to go to harakat. Okay, then again I have to come for the kha kasra, just like say it's like a sorry, it's not a jeen, it is a kha, this is a ba. Okay, then again like a zigzag way, right, for kasra. Okay, then again the lam, then with a fatha. Okay, like this the zigzag way will go. We can just keep it like that. I'm not here talking about the sound levels. Okay, just the way from where, how from the makhraj to any, we have to show that separation. It is always, we will not mix the haraka with the makhraj of the letter. Okay, there will be a slight separation, any fraction of second, the timing will be, the separation of the makhraj and the haraka will be there. Okay, so I know that you all agree to this, right? You don't have any confusion in this. There is a slight, there is a separation. We will never say the haraka and the letter together, the makhraj and the letter together. We will not say. Even the mechanism of a mutaharrik letter, okay, it is separation after a strong bonding, and then what, corresponding mouth movement for the haraka, right? So from the b, we will go to fatha. From the kho, we will go to kasra. So when you are giving that b, the shidda should be there. Not just shidda. Whatever qualities the letter ba has, it should be there. So then again, you will be able to give everything if you give the proper bonding. Okay, so don't just say ba, no, ba. If you say ba, then the proper shidda is there, the jahar is there, even the qalqala is there. Okay, when you study the qalqala levels, you will study, there is one school of thought that we have qalqala in the, mutaharrik also. Okay, this is one school of thought. It is not a wrong thing. Okay, and the scholars are there not just giving, because they have their own claims also. They are giving some viewpoints that it is an accepted school of thought also. Okay, why we don't give qalqala in the shadda letters? Of course, I thought we will discuss that in the But anyways, it is to the ruling of idgham. Okay, so it is the ruling of idgham that we will follow the for example, if the ba plus ba fatha, okay, ba sukun plus ba fatha is equal to ba shadda fatha, right? So this is how the shadda letter is happening. Okay, so that means these two letters, the first letter being a sukun letter, second letter being a haraka letter, they will undergo mixing up, yani the merging, not mixing up, it will undergo merging. The first letter will completely go into the second one. First letters makhraj and the sifa completely, it will go into the second letter, and the second letter will be uh, will be doubled. Okay, the second letter will become doubled with the haraka. Understood? So that means the first letter is completely gone. So this is what we call as idgham. Okay, the first letter we will call as mudgham, and second letter we will call as mudgham fihi. Okay, and the resultant we will get a mushaddad. Okay, so as to the ruling of idgham, okay, the mushaddad will follow the ruling. It has to follow the mudgham fihi, not the mudgham. Okay, so when the ruling is the idgham is happening, the qalqala letter is already gone. There is no qalqala letter at all. It's makhraj, sifa, everything went to the second letter. So we are following the mudgham fihi. The mudgham fihi doesn't have any qalqala here. It is a haraka letter. It is not a sukun letter. So that is the reason where we are not giving uh, yeah, mutamathilain only for the same letter. Inshallah, we will study that in very detail in alaqats. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is about the single haraka. And now if it is a mad letter, also the same. Okay. It is a jim with an alif, or a lam with a waw, or the noon with a ya madiyya, whatever madiyya. If it is the same timing without any extent reason for extra mad, it is all the same timing. So the timing will be different when they are not having any kind of vowels. Okay, vowelless. Okay. And in the shadda also. So this is one important thing, you have to keep that in mind. Yeah. Now coming to the timing of the letters. So everyone are very cautious about the timing of the letter. That means the rahawa, when you have to see the letter, of course you have to give the proper timing of the letter. Then you will recite like yes, the bishirun. They will do beautifully. But some situations, what happens is that, for example, let's say the word yedzakaru. Okay, the word is yedzakaru, or yeah, yedzakaru. Okay, yedzakaru. The zal, it is having the rakhawat, right? The zal with the shadda. So the zal with the shadda, it is already in their mind that they have to give the proper timing of the letter. Okay, so they will do like, okay, I will recite twice. You have to tell me which one is the correct one. Okay, the first one, yadzakaru. Second, yadzakaru. Which one is the correct one? Okay, why did you select the second one? What is the mistake in the first one? No rahawa, shidda. Okay, no rahawa. So what does that mean? No rahawa, and it is a shidda for the sukun and ra. No rahawa. Shidda, maybe you might have thought. Okay, yeah, it is. The answer is correct. Didn't give time. No, I gave both the shidda the same timing. Only thing is that I didn't give the flow of sound. I didn't give the rahawa. Okay, if I say yes, see, I can say how I can extend the timing as much as I want without running the sound. Okay, see, yadhakkaru and yadhakkaru. The second time, what I did was I let the sound go out. I let the sound out, say yes, yes, or let's say fa, no, fa, no, fa. Understood? Now you can hear the flow of sound also. So when you are thinking about the we say shadda or a sukun letter, don't just think about the timing of the letter. Okay, always think about the flow of sound also. When a person is hearing your recitation, okay, so that person have to hear the sound of that letter. Okay, that means don't say yaf'alun. No, yaf'alun, yaf'alun. Understood? So this is also you have to keep that in, because I always yeah, the second one, the flow of sound was there. Okay, because earlier we know about this flow of sound, and then we have to give importance about the timing of the letter, because the students are not aware about the timing. But now the situation is in the opposite way. The students are aware of the timing of the letter, but they forgot about the flow of sound. So now we have to give both of them in the equal importance. Okay, so the flow of sound should be there. And that means the sound of that letter should be there along with the timing. Okay, and now the strength of the sifa, that means the rakhaba. Okay, that means when the letter is having a shadda, of course the flow of sound will be greater. Okay, as sa, because it is a two letter, one letter being a sukun and second letter being the same letter, right? So, and then in the sukun state, the flow of sound will be lesser than the shadda, but it is greater than a mutaharrika. Okay, so this is what I told. Remember, when there is a yeah, space needs to be don't think about the space. Maybe your makhraj you won't give bonding properly. Don't think about the space. Okay, just give the proper bonding. That will be enough. Okay, with a proper bonding, not extra. Because if you think about the gap, maybe there won't be any bonding. Okay, so assasa masjid sa'ala. See, when I'm doing the sa, I'm starting with the rahava of the scene itself. It is only that the strength of the rahava is less. It doesn't mean, remember, I told you when there is a shidda letter, when there is a tawassit letter, when there is a rahava, the timing of the letter is equal. But the sifat will be same. Understood? You cannot make here the word, the example here given. The sin is a rahava, hamza is a shidda, lam is a tabasut. You cannot say sa'ala. You cannot do like that. It is sa'ala, sa'ala. But you can make it out. The sa, I started with the rahava itself. See, I'm not saying sa'ala, sa'ala. No, I'm starting. See, the rahava is there. For the half, the half portion or the makhraj timing I'm giving to the scene, the rahava is there. I'm not quickly going to the fatha. I have to give the bonding correctly. Sa, a, la. See, sa, la, sa, la, a, sa'ala, sa'ala. Understood? So like this, you have to practice. Of course, mashallah, you all got beautiful, very beautiful and qualified teachers, so that I didn't find any, even though I'm taking the exams or all, I am too much surprised sometimes. I always message to Sister Sunita that you are very good. Yeah. Haraka equal timings of Shidda, Tawasut, and Rakhava, but it should be heard in proper bonding of the Makhraj. Yes. Yeah, good. Okay. Barakallah fikun. So what's the timing now? Yeah, alhamdulillah, this much is enough. Inshallah. We plan to finish the Sifa in 3 classes, I think. So I think 2 more classes or maybe 3. Because I wanted to give an assignment, inshallah, for the Sifat at the end, and we will discuss that also. So maybe 3 more classes we will take for the Sifa. It's okay. We will go very slowly, inshallah. Okay, so that's it. If you have any doubt, you can ask, or we will wind up the session. Okay, yeah, so until 70th slide, Sister Sabah today. So I hope there is no doubt. Jazakumullah khairan. Taqabbalallahu minna wa minkum. Okay, so as usual, I'm saying, listen to the recording, split the recording into small parts, and then you can prepare beautiful notes so that there is no need to go back to the recording again. Understood? You have to prepare the notes in such a way there is no need of recording further. That means no need to take the print. And I have seen in my students that they will just take a printout of the PDF. There is no need. I don't think it will benefit you. It is just the wastage of money, wastage of paper, wastage of effort. Understood? So what you can do, you can write whatever it is in the slide in your notebook, and just write everything. Write and write and write and study. For believe me, you won't forget at all. And then when you're writing, you will get lots of doubts also. Okay, and alhamdulillah, lots of time I have been correcting the slides again and again, and still there will be lots of errors. And of course, if you find if you send me some kind of corrections here, it will be a Sadaqah Jariyah for you also, because I'm using this for different classes. So may Allah accept it from all of you, alhamdulillah. So inshallah, we will see next class. And again, don't forget to do the revision form. Again, I will send a new one for revision 2. Okay, and every resources will be shared in the group also. So inshallah, we'll see next class. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.